he mentions the use of mercury, para. He mentions the use of mercury, and by the use of mercury, he caused the machine to fly. And also donkeys and cows and elephant urine also used. Panchamrit, which we know, which we use in worshipping the deities, and which we use in prasad also on very various occasions. There is Panchamrit also used in construction of these machines. And also many different metals are also used in this. Shakun Viman also, Shakun means the bird, Pakshi. Shakun Viman is also mentioned. And so Shakun Viman is also shaped like a bird. And also there is a machine which is like a fish, a giant fish, Matsyakriti. So in 31st chapter in Samarangan Sutradhar, various kinds of machines have been described, and these machines are not mentioned in other Shilpa works, in other works which mentions the architecture or the construction of cities, palaces and houses. An elephant machine also, Gajayantra, by the name of Gajayantra, elephant machine also mentioned here. And here also, as in Bharadwaj Shastra, Shakun Vimana, here is Vyomachari Yantra. So here a bird is made of the wood, काष्ठमय, एक लकड़ी की बना ली जाती है, पक्षी के लकड़ी के पक्षी के आकार का एक विमान बनाते हैं. वुडन विमान, मशीन फ्लाइंग इन द एयर, आकाशगामी दारुमय विमान. And for also we can see that what is needed today, and what is being considered the functions which we are trying to make completed with the machines and robots. That type of function he is also described here in a Dwarapala Yantra. So he proposed that a machine should be made and it should be fitted on the gate, and that machine will work as a Dwarapala. Also, he proposes the soldier machine also, Yodha Yantra. As we see today, there are talk of robots, and there are talk of soldiers, robot soldiers, which will fight in the battlefield, and there will be no casualty or less casualty of human beings. So that type of proposal is here also, that Yodha Yantra. And for Vaichityartham, for the astonishing factor, inserting the factor, he has also proposed that there should be also the sound in these machines. And for these sounds, yantrena kalpito hasti nadan gachan pratiyate. That elephant machine should also make the sound as an elephant makes. And the likewise, in the same manner, parrots, shukadyaha pakshina, kliptas talasyanugaman muhu. And a machine is creating the sound, and listening that sound, the parrots and other birds also follow that, because they are confused. They don't know that this is the machine, this is not a real elephant. Janasya vismaya krito nrityanti cha pathanti cha. And that is for the amusement of the, or astonishment of people. These machines, as we see in toys, they also move in circle, and they also dance, and they also recite. Putrika va gajendro va turavo markatopi va valanair vartanair nityam stalen harate manah. Like a horse, like a monkey, and like an elephant, and like a putrika. Putrika means the doll which we made by the clothes and other materials. And Laghudarumayam Mahavihangam, he also mentions the bird which is made of wood, and under that wooden machine, he also proposes to fix a container which is full of mercury, and that is, when heated, then it propels that machines. Laghudarumayam Mahavihangam Drila Suslishtatanum Vidhayatasya Udare Rasayantramadadhita. In the middle of that machine, we should fix a rasayantra. Rasa means mercury, para. A machine containing the mercury should be put there. Jalanadhara mathosya chagni purnam, and it must be heated by the fire. Jalanadhara mathosya chagni purnam. तत्रारूढ़ा पुरुषस्तस्य पक्षत द्वंद्वोच्चाल प्रोज्झिते नालिनेन. और उसी की, with the heat of that, pressure of air is generated, and then both wings, like wings of birds, and that propelling of that wings, that yantra flies, as we see in today's helicopters and aeroplanes. Ithameva suptasyantah Paratasya Shaktya Chitram Kurvan Nambare Yati Duram. That those machines with the pressure of the air which is created by the mercury, heating of mercury, it goes very far in the sky. Ithameva Suramandira Tulyam Sanchalatyalahu Daru Vimanam Adadhita Vidhina Chaturontastasya Parada Bhratan Dridukumbhan. So he proposes that we should put 4 containers of the mercury in that Shakuna Viman or Darumaya Mahavihanga, the giant bird which is made of wood in the shape of bird, and 4 containers of the mercury should be tightly packed there, must be put there. So that is the peculiarity of this Yantradhyaya. That is the peculiarity of this work, which is not generally found in other Shilp works. That work also had an impact on the later work, that is Aparajit Prichha. We will come to that point later. So, when we consider the architecture of the temples, that is also another peculiarity which is not found in other works in much detail. Because the largest part of the work is covered by the temple architecture. So when one goes through the work, he cannot ignore these details. Although other Vastu works don't deal in detail with this fact, they only mention about temple only some things, and then they say that the rules and regulations which are mentioned in the connection with the buildings and houses, they should be applied there. But in Samarangan Sutradhar, the author has mentioned rules and regulations and styles very details. The largest part of the work is covered by these details. Although this is not the general subject matter of any Vastu work, but worth noting fact is here that this topic is not included in the list of the beginning of the treatise. And in Prashnadhyaya, there are topics which are mentioned there, which will be dealt in later part of the work. But it is not impossible that some of the material included in these sections may be a later addition. That is the opinion of some scholars, that there's so much detail of the temple architecture might be added later. But that is a huge debate which goes almost in every scripture. Barring few scriptures, always there is a discussion about the interpolation and adding some material. And in this context, we only consider the commentaries which are written from time to time, because these commentaries throw light on the Mula Patha or the Prakshipta Patha, which is the original reading and which is the interpolated reading. But what is the very important, that no style of temple architecture is left here. So the description of temple architecture is, we can say that it is all inclusive. 3 types of, and it is also worth noting that Bhoj was from the northern India. But in this text, not only the style of temples found in northern India, but also the style of temples found in southern India have also been mentioned in detail here. Here we find a lengthy discussion of Dravida structure, and that is also up to 12 stories. 12 मंजिल तक के मंदिरों का विवरण है. And a large part of the temple descriptions are extremely very schematic, very minute details, and very remarkable variation in terms of how one may fill that scheme is dealt here. And though no precise picture of the decorative elements comes through, and in several cases we find the repetition also, because repetition is found in Indian texts, and it should not be taken otherwise. It is only for the pushti karne ke liye, it is for confirming and the sake of the memory. But the process is quite mechanical, and to the extent that some architectural elements appear not even to have been listed explicitly, and context would made their repetition understood. Some scholars say that if these chapters were intended here to have a linking with the actual building practice, then it is likely that a good deal of oral explanation would have been necessarily attached to the text. This feature is not at all in the context of text traditional Indian Shastras. One of the very interesting feature is the decoration of the houses. And this topic has been also detailed here, and that is not found in other works in so detail. Palaces and houses must be decorated. So he also dealt with the visual arts and human types, rasa and abhinay also. And because when we see in Natya Shastra, a theatre is made, then Bharata prescribes many prescriptions there that how walls of the theatre must be decorated with the paintings and with the paintings on the wall and paintings on the other pictures on the surface also. So the section of sculpture and painting is fairly large and very detailed. So variety of iconography is also there, because if we call about temple architecture, so we have to discuss about the iconography, means murti, the pratima of deity, how it must be constructed and how it must be put, and before and after and insides what pictures must be inscribed on the walls. So iconography also in 17th and 75th and 76th, 77th, 78th, 79th and 80. So these 7 chapters are dealing with iconography, and a proper painting is also in 71 and 72nd chapter has been described. Clay art also, when we make the pratimas with the soil, so clay art is also there. And lastly, an interesting section that is closely related to other types of shastras also there. And 3 final chapters of the manuscript tradition that is fit for the Vastu due to their link with the visual representation of humans. So, although it is not the main part of the architecture, but as the architecture of theatre, architecture of temples, architecture of palaces, and architecture of houses, and architecture of cities, all are mentioned in very detail. And main points are the testing of soil and determination of the land which is fit for the city or a place or a marketplace. And also in a house, one should also use the flavors and gauges also. So there is also a chapter on this. So this is the in broad subject matter of the Samarangana Sutradhar. He not only mentions the rules and regulations of the constructing a house, planning a city, or constructing a temple, but constructing a theater also, but he also goes to mention the painting and iconography, because in temple we have to establish a pratima of deity. So iconography is also there, and we have to decorate the temples and we have to decorate the walls of palaces also. So he describes about the paintings on the walls and paintings on the clothes and paintings on the surface also. And he also deals with the flavors also. And in 82 chapter, he explicitly mentions about this. And here in this, he mentions 11 type of rasas. So there are many types of 83 chapters are there. So many details can be only known when we read the text. T. Ganapati Shastri has provided the first reading. He has the credit credit goes to T. Ganapati Shastri. He brought this text to the light, and afterwards there are English translations and Hindi translations are also available. A good translation, I have sent the list to the madam. And in last chapter, in 83 chapter, he also deals with the visual arts and in visual arts also, and also dance, about dance also. And this is related to the construction of theater. And if because palace have many things, so a theater may be there in palace. And so Nritya Mudra, dancing gestures are also mentioned here. So we can, in nutshell, we can say that it is an encyclopedic work, and it is not only confined to the architecture, but it also touches the related things also, iconography also, dancing gestures also, measurement also, and also, as we said, the making of machines, yantradhyaya is also there. So these are some points which make this work peculiar from other vast works. So I think I have outlined the detail in brief of Samarangana Sutradhar. And if there is anything which participants are willing to ask, then they are welcome. And I said 5 or 10 minutes are sufficient for that. So I think questions may be asked now. Otherwise, I shall go for another discussion. Thanks. Thank you.